It may not surprise historians that when the story of Sunday Igboho is told, it may not be about humans, not about a rustic upstart rewriting his hubris to muster a tribal pride, not about S-men as barbarians or the torching of palaces or the slaughter of red-blooded hunters and the defiling of nobles. It may be a legacy of a cat. Hence, I wonder when the case of Igboho against the federal government in the international court kicks into earnest. Will the cat be summoned in evidence? Many things have been said about the night cat, but nothing about its identity. Was it a fat cat, nourished in the rats and droppings of the homes? Was it a lean cat, straying into a human staccato of action just as a cartoon now trending has suggested? Was it a bold male, a sly kitten? Was it on the run? In a half daze, did it meow or growl or squint? Was it a black cat, now invisible in the night, now visible, its eyes bright and defiant, stabbing the night? We are left to fill in the void, a vast tapestry of colors and sounds in that night of augury and blood. The men and women of DSS and the Nigerian army who rallied into the compound without warrant may have shot few persons dead, slopped away Igboho's wife and the guards and others in a triumph of a cat fighting a rat, but it was the cat that won the night. The fuzzy creature became, in their eyes, not an animal but a transformation act. It became an escape artist like the goat Dudley, who helped the stunning damsel Esmeralda outwit her foes in Victor Hugo's classic, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. So they thought Igboho was the cat, and what did they think they could do to it or him? Could they force it to rehumanize, to turn into human again? Could they have handled it, or would they have fled, gun and all, in a commotion of cowardice? The little creatures transformed from a low, small form into the mammalian hog, eyes turning human, four legs turning to hands, legs elongating into a full stretch of a Homo sapien, feet unfurling and his voice shouting in strange bars. Yoruba nation. Even as they surveyed the cat, did they tremble? Did it occur to them that at that moment that the very spectacle of the cat exposed the hollowness of the whole project that night? That it was all fiction? That they were looking for a man who was not there, and they were fighting a cause that was not there? That the man had riled up a crowd did not mean he rallied a nation. It meant the state had lost its onions. It was surprising, a fiction, just as it was pursuing the chimera of Twitter that should bring job to us, excite a community, leverage a cause to help fight the ignorance. They were now fighting in the vanguard of ignorance. The cat in question has no name. It may have been a neighborhood cat, a hungry cat, straying with the same impunity with the soldiers. Cat without warrant, soldiers without warrant. We might say it had the guarantee of a cultural warrant. Soldiers had no legal warrant. The cat, however, came like a thief in the night, an intruder's humility. The soldiers came like the best in the night, barreling in with a rat-cat-tat of gunfire. The real beast, paradoxically, was innocent. It wanted food. They wanted humans as fodder, a cannibal feast. The humans were beasts. Did I hear fella croon? Beasts of no nation. Some said the cat was Igboho's pet that helped to rid the home of rats. Reminds me of my maternal grandmother in the village of Orogun. Once in a while, he would ask us to open the doors and let the cat in. The gleeful predators padded steadily into rooms, and a few minutes later, they were growing out with mouthfuls. In the West, if a raid of this nature happened, the police would look for a threat for the cat. They would even play with the creature. That our soldier decided to arrest the cat reflect how as a creature we have made ourselves lower than the animals. The cat cowed them. It probably mewed them into fear. They stopped. The cat conquered. In metaphor, they were like playwright Tennessee Williams' cat on a hot tin roof. They were intimidated by the animal because the whole incursion into Igboho's compound was lower than humans. It was a bestial act rather than cuddle the cats. They saw themselves as low than it. God made us a little lower than angels. The army acted a little lower than a cat. They did not think it harmful in physical terms but spiritual. They had guns, they had bombs, but they had fear. That is the power of superstition. Rather than shoot, they shrank. Hmm. It is the same superstition that is at work with fighting Igboho, that it is at work with what we now know as the fear over a free press and free expression in a democracy that led to a nationwide first page advert in the newspapers. It is the same suppression of dissent that we are seeing with Twitter, that we have seen with NBC. It is not today that tales of animal superstition have pervaded military escapades and campaigns in Nigeria. I recall a visit to Black Scorpion, Brigadier Adekunle, as a reporter in the late 1980s. The small man, then old but the sparkle of his marital past undimmed, spoke without glee about the war. I asked him about stories of his disappearing acts. He laughed it off. He said there was no truth to it. The man was hardly in the battlefront, but some might said he turned to animals and disappeared. That soldiers in battle believe this only tell us how idle some of the minds of our soldiers are.